Hello students, welcome to the channel. In today's video, we'll discuss the calculator section of the May 2021 International SAT. So let's begin. Question 1. In the figure shown, line T intersects lines L and K. Which additional piece of information is sufficient to prove that lines L and K are parallel? Okay, so x greater than 90, that is not sufficient to prove L and K are parallel, so it's not A. W less than 90, that is not sufficient either, so that's not the answer. W equal to Y. W equal to Y is always true. We don't need to know that because W and Y are vertically opposite angles, so that doesn't tell me anything. Y equal to Z. Now, if Y and Z are equal, these are corresponding angles, right? And if they are equal, that would mean that lines L and K are parallel. So option D is enough to prove that lines L and K are parallel. Okay, so let me just mark that. Option D. 1 second. Okay. Yeah. Question 2. The scatter plot shows the average price per square foot of a house in the US each year for several years. A line of best fit is also shown. The line of best fit predicted that the average price per square foot in 2001 would be $76. Okay. What is the difference between the predicted value and the actual average price per square foot in 2001? So 2001 would be here somewhere, and the line of best fit predicts that this is 76 and the actual value is 72, right? The dot represents the actual value. So the difference between them is $4. Option C. Option C. Okay. Question 3. What is the solution to the given equation? X minus 8 whole cube is 0. So if x minus 8 whole cube is 0, x can be 8, and this is a triple root because it's a cube. So 8 is the answer. Option D. Okay. Questions 4 and 5 refer to the following information. Costs of some steps to publish a manuscript can vary as shown in the table. So this is acquiring an ISBN, minimum cost, maximum cost, and mean cost. Okay. Professional review, minimum, maximum, and mean. Marketing, minimum, maximum, and mean. Okay. Yvonne writes 30 manuscripts and wants to get them published. What is the minimum cost in dollars for professional review of Yvonne's manuscripts? So minimum cost per manuscript for professional review is $250. So 30 multiplied by 250 will be the minimum value for the 30 manuscripts. So that's $7,500. Option A. Okay, let's choose that. Number 5. Which of the following graphs could represent the relationship between the number of manuscripts X and the cost Y of acquiring ISBNs for the manuscripts? Okay, so acquiring an ISBN, minimum cost is $125 and maximum cost, so it's $125, right? So if it is, if X is the number of manuscripts, then the cost of acquiring an ISBN is 125x, right? Because whatever is the number of manuscripts, you multiply that by 125. So let's see which graph shows that. So this line is 100, right? So at 1, this is below 100, so it can't be A. It's a little over 100, so this is possible, so I'll keep this. At 1, this is way over 200, so it can't be this. And here at 1, it's 400. So the best answer is option B, because at 1, the value of 125 is shown in option B. Okay, so that's option B. Question 6. Water quality managers estimate that a population of algae initially covered X square miles of water in a nearby river. After a period of time, the algae grew to cover 375% of its original area. Which of the following represents the area of water that the algae covered after this period of time? So it says that it covered X square miles initially, and then it grew to cover 375% of its original area. So it grew to cover 375% of X, because its original area was X square miles. So that's 375 by 100 into X. So that's 3.75X. So it grew to cover 3.75X, option B. Okay. Question 7 and 8. The nutrition information for a chicken noodle soup recipe is shown in the table. One batch of soup consists of 6 servings, where one serving is 1 cup. Okay, so this is the nutrition information. Okay. Approximately how many calories from fat are in one serving of the soup? So total calories is 203. This is one batch, right? Yeah, so this is one batch. So 203 calories, of which 30% come from fat. So 30% of 203 come from fat. So that's 0.3 into 203. That is 3 threes are 9. 3. So 60.9 come from fat. This is one serving, right? I'm trying to understand if okay, this is one serving of the soup, right? This is not a batch. One serving. Amount per serving, it's given here. Okay, so it will be 61, option A. Okay, so that's question 7. The total cost to make one batch of soup is $20. What is the approximate cost per calorie in cents? Okay, so one batch of soup is $20, right? So let's do it one by one. Yeah, I'm just going to write it like this. So one batch of soup is $20, which means it has 6 servings. So how many calories? In one serving, 203. So it will be 6 times 203. 6 threes are 18, 1. So 1218 calories in one batch of soup. Approximate cost per calorie. So that would be $20 divided by 1218 calories. But we want the answer in cents. So we'll convert dollars to cents. So that's 2000 divided by 1218, right? Cost per calorie. So what is 2000 by 1218? Let's plug that in the calculator. Give me a sec. So I got my calculator and I'm going to plug 2000 divided by 1218, which is 1.64, right? 1.64. So that's option A. Okay, so let's choose option A. Question 9. X plus 1 is 2 times x plus 1. What value of x satisfies the given equation? Okay, so let's just solve this. Actually, it would be -1. You can just plug that in C because both sides would become 0 if you put x as -1. But if you want to solve it algebraically, it would be minus x is 1. So x is -1, right? So just plug in or solve it algebraically, you'll get -1. Okay, I just want to see if this is here, right? In the xy plane, what is the y-intercept of the line with the equation? So when we write the equation as y equal to mx plus c, then m slope is -2 and c 4 is the y-intercept. So it will be 0, 4. When x is 0, y is 4. So that's option D. Okay, the graph of the linear function is shown. Which equation defines f? So y is mx plus c. So m is y2 minus y1 by x2 minus x1. So that's 2 divided by -1. So the slope is -2. And the y-intercept c is 2. We can see that, right? So y would be minus 2x plus 2. Minus 2x plus 2, option C. Okay. A speed of 60 meters per second is equivalent to z meters per minute. What is the value of z? 60 meters per second. Now 1 second is 1/60th of a minute, right? So 60 meters divided by 1/60 minute. So that's 60 into 60 meters per minute. So that's 3,600 meters per minute, option D. Okay. Question 13. The given equations are two different models that can be used to find the value in dollars of a particular car T years after it was purchased. Which of the following statement correctly compares the values of E and V for T between 0 and 9? Okay, so let's first find the value of these two for T equal to 1, just to get a sense of where we are. So E is 18,000 minus 2,000. So that's 16,000. And V is 18,000 into 0.85, right? Which is how much? 18,000 into 0.85, which is 15,300. 300, right? So at 1, E is definitely less than V. So what will my graph look like? You can see that, 1 second, I'll draw it here. You can see that one would be a linear curve and the other would be an exponential curve, right? Something like this. So initially, the value of the linear curve is greater than the exponential curve, right? For example, at t is equal to 0, but they are both 18,000. So this is 18,000. At t equal to 1, this is 16,000, the linear curve, but this is 15,000. 300. Okay. What about, let's take a bigger value. Let's say t is equal to 5, right? So what will happen to, let me write here, E is 18,000 minus 10,000. So that's 8,000, right? When we take t as 5. And V is 18,000 into 0.85 to the power 5, right? So what is that going to be? 0.85 to the power 5, that multiplied by 18,000. So that's 7,989. Okay, so it is still less than the linear value, right? Okay, interesting. So t is equal to 5, it is still less than the linear value, something like this. Okay, what about t is equal to 8? Let's do t equal to 8. You can actually use a graphing calculator for this. I think it would be faster, but I am solving this for everyone, so students who may not have a graphing calculator. So if is going to be 18,000 minus at t is equal to 8 is 16,000, right? So that's 2,000, and V will be 0.85 to the power 8, and that multiplied by 18,000. Right, so now it's higher. Now it's 4,905. So we notice that initially E is greater, but eventually E does become less than V. So that's option C. Okay. Question 14. The table shown summarizes 100 items by type and category. One type C item will be selected at random. Okay, so one type C item will be selected at random, which means my denominator is 48. What is the probability that the selected item will be in category 3? So that's 19. 19 out of 48, which is option B. Okay. Henry buys 2 boxes of blue pens and some boxes of black pens. Each box contains 10 pens and Henry buys a total of 50 pens. Okay. The equation 10 times x plus 2 is equal to 50 represents the situation. Which of the following is the best interpretation of the expression x plus 2? So 10 times x plus 2 is 50. This is the total number of pens that Henry has purchased. This is the number of pens in one box, right? This is number of boxes of blue pens. So, and X will be the number of boxes of black pens, right? Because the total number of boxes is X plus 2. That multiplied by 10, because each box contains 10 pens, gives him 50 pens. So X plus 2 then becomes the total number of boxes of pens that he buys, right? Where X is the number of boxes of black and 2 is the number of boxes of blue. So it's B, the number of boxes of pens that Henry buys, X plus 2. Okay. So let's choose B. Question 16. For the linear function f of 6 is 4 and the graph of y is equal to fx in the xy plane has a slope of half, which equation defines f? Okay, so we know that 6 comma 4 is a point on the graph because when x is 6, the function is 4. And we know that the slope is half. So y minus y1 is m times x minus x1. This is the equation to use. Y minus 4 is half x minus 6, which is half x minus 3. So y is half x plus 1. So y is half x plus 1, option A. Okay. 17. Crawford County, Iowa is shaped like a rectangle. The length of the county is 6 miles longer than the width of the county. If AX is the area of the county and X is the width, which equation best models the area? Okay. So if the width is X, the length is 6 miles longer. So it is X plus 6, right? So the area is length into breadth, which will be X times X plus 6. So X times X plus 6, which is option D. Okay, number 18. Exactly how many solutions does the given equation have? So in an absolute value equation, when you have 0 on the right hand side, it can only be one solution, right? Because modulus of x plus 3, 0 means that x plus 3 has to be 0. That's the only possibility. So x is negative 3. Just one solution, right? What if you have a positive number on the right hand side, then there are two possible solutions because x plus 3 now can be plus or minus 2. So x will be minus 3 plus or minus 2, which is minus 1 or minus 5, right? So when you have a positive number, there are two solutions. And if you have a negative number on the right hand side, then that's no solution because absolute value function can never be negative, right? So this is something to remember. Here, because the right hand side had a 0, there is one solution only. B. Okay. 19. The box plots above show the distribution of two data sets. Which of the following statements must be true? The minimum value of numbers in data set A is greater than the minimum value of numbers in data set B. So we know that the minimum value for both is 20, right? So A is not correct. The range of data set A is greater than the range of data set B? No. We know that the highest value of both data sets is 80. So the range for both is 60. 80 minus 20. So B is wrong. Data set A has more data values than data set B has. We don't know that. The number of data sets is something that the box plot doesn't tell you. It doesn't tell you how many data values are there. So C is not right. The median of data set A is greater than the median of data set B. Yeah, that is true for sure. The median of data set A is here and the median of data set B is here. So this value is definitely greater than this. So D has to be true. Option D. Okay. In a tournament for 64 teams, each game is played between two teams. Each team plays one game in the first round. For all rounds, the winning team of each game advances to play a game in the next round, and the losing team is eliminated. How many teams remain to play in the fourth round of the tournament? Okay. So there are 64 teams, right? After the first round, half would remain, 32, and the losing 32 would be eliminated. After the second round, another half would remain. After the third round, another half would remain. And after the fourth round, another half would remain. So after 4 rounds, so this was the first round, the second round. In the first round, 64 played. In the second round, 32 played. In the third round, 16 played. And in the fourth round, 8 played, right? So 8 will play in the fourth round and then proceed to just 4 teams left. So how many play in the fourth round? That's 8. Okay. 21, for a certain type of aircraft, the ratio of thrust in newtons to weight in newtons is 27 to 100. If an aircraft has a weight of 3,730,000 newtons, which of the following is closest to the thrust? Okay, so thrust to weight is 27 to 100. So weight is 3730 is 27 to 100. These two zeros cancel. So the thrust would be 3730 into 27. So let's plug that in the calculator. 37,300 multiplied by 27, which is one second, what is it? 1 million something, right? Yeah, so the closest answer is option A. Yeah. Okay, so that's option A. 22. The graph of the line y equal to negative half x plus 3 in the xy plane is translated 2 units to the right. What is the y-intercept of the translated line? Okay, so 2 units to the right means that x can be replaced by x minus 2, right? Because 2 units to the right indicates replacement of x, right? So my new equation will be minus half x minus 2 plus 3, which is minus half x plus 1 plus 3, which is minus half x plus 4. So the y-intercept of this new line would be 4. So that's 0, 4, option D. Okay. 23, data set R and data set S are represented in the dot plots shown. The mean for each data set is 50. Which of the following best describes the standard deviation of data set R and the standard deviation of data set S? So we know that the mean for data set R is 50 and for data set S is 50 also. But in data set R, the values are much closer to the mean compared to data set S, right? The bunching is greater around the mean in data set R. And standard deviation is deviation from the mean. So we see that the deviation from the mean is greater in data set S compared to data set R. So the standard deviation of data set S is greater, which means the standard deviation of data set R is less than the standard deviation of data set S, option C. Okay, 24. A potter is selling vases. The function gives the total profit the potter will receive if the vases are sold at a price of X dollars each. The graph is shown. Which equation represents the relationship between the price of one vase and profit? Okay, so I know that my vertex is 18,156, right? So the equation in the vertex form is a times x minus h whole squared plus k, and a is minus 6 in all options. So that should be minus 6 times x minus 18 whole squared plus 1536. So minus 6 times x minus 18 whole squared plus 1536. That's option B. Okay. So that's done. Question 25, the bar graph shows the frequency of each data value in a certain data set. What is the minimum data value in the data set? So the minimum data value is 10, right? 10 occurs 3 times. So if I had to write this as a list, I would write 10 3 times, 11 4 times, and 13 2 times. So the minimum value is 10. Okay. The histogram shows the distribution of book prices in dollars for the 27 books for sale at a store. The first bar represents books with price of less than $5. Second bar represents books with prices of at least 5, but less than 10, and so on. In which interval will the median price of books for sale be included when the book that costs at least $35 but less than $40 is sold? Okay, in which interval will the median price of the books for sale be included when the book which costs at least 35 but less than 40? So I'm not including this data, right? So this data is not included. So then I'm left with 26 books. For 26 books, the median would be the average of the 13th and 14th items, right? So this is 9, this is 11, and this is 6, right? So the 13th and 14th items will be between 5 and 10. And so the median would be at least 5, but less than 10, between 5 and 10, right? Actually, the median is quite responsible as an indicator because let's say I had not sold that book and I was looking at the median of all 27 books, right? The median will be the 14th value. And you can see that the 14th value is still between 5 and 10, right? So removing the outlier does not really affect the median. And so even if you have an outlier, the median is kind of a better measure of the data set than a mean, because the mean would definitely be affected by the outlier. So here it's B, at least 5, but less than 10. Okay. 27. Y is equal to half x plus 5. One of the two equations in a linear system is given. The system has no solutions. Which equation could be the second equation in this system? So if the system has no solutions, the second equation should have the same slope, because for no solution, the two equations should be parallel on the coordinate plane, which means that they should have the same slope. But their intercepts need to be different, right? Because if their intercepts are also the same, then they're basically the same equation, and then the system has infinite solutions. So this, if this is the second equation, I would have infinite solutions, right? So it's not. So my answer should be C, because with C, I get two equations that are parallel. With A and D, I get two intersecting lines. So that's a unique system, unique solution. So the answer for no solution is C. Okay. A sample of strontium-90 will radioactively decay to half the original quantity in approximately 29 years. The function S above models the amount of strontium-90 that remains T years after a 10-gram sample starts to decay. Which of the following is the best interpretation of the number 0.5 in the function? So we know that the exponential function can be written as y is equal to a b to the power x. And if we have x by t, then a is the y-intercept, the initial value, which is 10. B is the growth factor, which means the factor by which the sample declines, decreases, or increases. Here it's decrease because the growth factor is less than 1, it's 0.5. So that decreases by 50%. And this T is the time period in which the growth factor is applied, right? So here the half-life is 29 years, which means it decreases to half. So option A, the approximate number of years it would take for 5 grams? No. Option B, the proportion of strontium that remains after approximately 29 years? Yes, that's a good answer. Half of it remains. Option C, the number of grams of strontium? No. And option D also. So it's B, it's the growth factor, the proportion of strontium that remains after 29 years. Okay. Which equation is the most appropriate exponential model for the data shown? So first, I noticed that my y-intercept is between 0 and 20, and it's kind of near 10, right? Like if I draw it something like this, it will be, yeah, so it can't be A and it can't be D. It anyway can't be D because it's a rising graph and D is a falling graph. Now, between B and C, I'll have to look at another point. So let me look at 1 comma 10 is a good point, right? It does look like it passes through 1 comma 10. So in this, I get 2 times 5, where I do get 10. Here I get 6 times 2, which I get as 12. Okay, so it's cutting it a little close. Let's do 4 comma 100. 4 comma 100. So in this, I get 2 times 5 to the power 4, right? Wait. I think it may not be these because 5 to the power 4 is huge and 2 to the power 4. Wait, what is 2 to the power 4? 16 into 6, which is 96. Yeah, okay, so it does seem like C then, right? One more point. Let's put x equal to 2 in this. So 4, 6 are 24. Yeah, so it is C. C is the best fit. Yeah, okay. The power of 5 was increasing rapidly. Yeah. Okay, in the xy plane, the graph of the given equation is a circle. Which point lies on the circle? Okay, so this I think we can just do by plug in. So let's put 3 comma 4. So 6 squared plus minus 4, that's 11 squared. So that's not 100. 6 squared plus 8 squared. Yeah, that is 100, right? 36 plus 64. So 3 comma minus 1 is a point. We don't have to check C and D, but just to be sure we can. So C will be 6 squared plus 6 squared, which is not 100. And 6 squared plus 6 squared again, that's not 100. So the one which is on the circle is B. Okay, let's go to the grid questions. Rectangle A has an area of 64 square meters. The length and width of rectangle B are 3 times the corresponding length and width of rectangle A. What is the area in square meters of rectangle B? So rectangle A, L into B is 64. Rectangle B is 3L and 3B. So its area would be 9LB, which is 9 times 64, which is 4 9s are 36, carry 3, 6 9s are 54, and 3, 57. So it's 576. Okay, so let me write that. 576. Okay. A one-digit positive integer will be chosen at random. What is the probability that the chosen integer will be greater than 7? So one-digit positive integer, so which means anything from 1 to 9. So I'm taking a total of 9 values, right? And greater than 7 would be 8 or 9, right? Those are greater than 7. So 2 values out of 9. So 2 by 9 is my probability. So that's 2 by 9. Okay. If xy is the solution to the given system, what is the value of 10x minus y? So interestingly, if you add these two, right? If you add these two, you will get 10x minus y on the left-hand side, right? Because 5 and 5 is 10 minus 4 plus 3. So it will be 48, right? So you didn't have to find x and y individually. By just adding, you got 10x minus y as 48. So this is quite common on SAT math, where you can just manipulate the equations. So that's 48. The expression 3xy into 2y plus 3 is equivalent to this, where b is a constant. What is the value of b? 3xy into 2y plus 3 is 6xy squared plus 9xy. So bxy squared plus 9xy. So when we compare, b has to be 6. Okay, b is 6. As of 2016, there were 118 known elements. These elements can be described with 10 classifications as summarized in the table below. The percentage of the 10 classifications that have 11 or more elements is p%. Okay, 11 or more. So I have this, 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 this. So there are 4 classifications out of 10 that have 11 or more. So that's 40%, right? So P is 40. Oh, 40, okay. An element is a non-metal if it is classified as a halogen, noble gas, or other non-metal. Okay, the ratio of all non-metals to all elements is 10 to K. What is the value of K? So non-metals are, one second. Non-metals are halogens, noble gases, and other non-metals. So 7 and 7, 14 and 6, 20. Total 20 non-metals. And all elements is how much? 118. Okay. So my ratio is 20 to 118. 20 to 118, and that is equal to 10 to K. So the 0 cancels. So K is 118 by 2. 2 5s are 10, 2 9s are 18. So K is 59. Okay, K is 59. Let's go to 37. The line graph shows the wind speed recorded every 2 hours in a town where X is the number of hours after midnight and Y is the wind speed in miles per hour. What is the greatest average change in wind speed in miles per hour between two readings shown in the graph? Greatest average change. Okay. So I think the greatest average change would be the one with the steepest slope. And I think it would be this portion of the graph, right? Because at no other point is the graph as steep as this. So that would be 16 minus 6 divided by 10 minus 8, right? The greatest average change in wind speed. So this is obviously miles per hour an hour. So that becomes miles per hour per hour. So that's 10 by 2, which is 5. So it's 5 miles per hour per hour. Yeah, that does seem to be the steepest, from 6 to 16. So it's 5. Okay, 5. 38, in the xy plane, line K with equation y is equal to mx plus b, where m and b are constants, passes through the point minus 3, comma 1. If line K is perpendicular to the line with this equation, what is the value of b? Okay, so this equation has a slope of -2. So line K will have a slope of half, right? Because perpendicular line slopes are negative reciprocals of one another. So yeah, and line K passes through this point. So y minus y1 is m times x minus x1. So y minus 1 is half x plus 3, which is half x plus 3 by 2. So y is half x plus 5 by 2, right? 3 by 2 plus 1. So m is half and b is 5 by 2 by comparing the two equations. So value of b is 5 by 2, which I can write as 2.5. Okay, so that was the section. Let's grade our answers now. From here, I have the answer key. Yeah, it's international. Yeah, so this is the answer key for calculator. DCDAB, DCDAB. Number 6, B triple AD, B triple AD 11, CDCBB, CDCBB 16, ADBDB, ADBDB 21, ADCBA, ADCBA 26, BCBCB, BCBCB, okay. 31, 576, 2 by 9, 48, 576, 2 by 9, 48. 640, 59, 640, 59, 5 and 2.5. Okay, great. So we got all correct. Hope this exercise was useful. If it was, hit like and subscribe to the channel. I have already uploaded videos for the calculator, the no calculator section of this test. So be sure to check that out. I will upload the solutions to reading and writing soon. So I hope to see you in those videos. Take care. Bye-bye.